Good morning. Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm the Moon Mama. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday is the day that is governed by Mercury, and Mercury is the planet that is closest to the sun. Mercury is also the planet that governs our perception, our minds, how we think, how we speak. And if you check out Mercury in your chart, in your natal chart, you'll see wherever Mercury is where your thinking and your mind tends to be. Like I have Mercury in Libra in the seventh house, conjunct Venus. So I'm often thinking about other people. I'm often thinking about love and romance and connection to others and how others feel and how others think. And it allows me to be able to feel into others' reality, like what's going on. So your perception is the key to your life. It's the key to everything. It's if you perceive that someone is kind and loving, you will behave in a certain way based upon that, and then you will experience that. If you perceive that someone is cruel and mean and restricted, you will behave based upon that, and then you will create more of that. Your perception truly is a superpower because you can perceive what you desire. It's important for us to recognize that we don't have to be at the effect of perception, that we can create the reality and perceive into it and then experience it, especially as melanated beings, where the sun is being absorbed by the melanin in your body. As Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, that energy of the sun, the light, filters through our thoughts, through our thinking, through our psyche, and then we impregnate the field with our perceived choice, how we want to perceive it. You tell it through your feelings, through your thinking, through your way of being, and then that will come back to you. Mercury is currently in Cancer, and Cancer is the constellation of our internal world. It's governed by the moon. Our internal world is also the energy of our early childhood foundations. It's our relationship with our mother. So our perception and how we relate to this environment, to the 3D reality, to the earth realm, usually comes from our mother. Like how we interpreted it, her feelings, her internal reality becomes something that we take on. And so as Mercury has been in retrograde for the last, couple of weeks, it's not in retrograde anymore for the last few weeks, but it's now in its retrograde shadow. What we want to do is look at our perception and then create new ways to be in relationship to reality, because what we learned from our mothers is outdated now. It doesn't work for us any longer. What our mothers knew doesn't serve us. One of the things I'm so clear about as a mother is that I can't raise my child to be in the world that he's going to be in 20 years from now because I don't perceive it. It's not here. I don't have access to that. But it's important for me to teach him how to renew and regenerate his ideas, his thoughts, his mind, so that he can be on the cutting edge of his own experience and not stuck in my reality. So that's very important for us to understand. Mercury retrograde in Cancer, creating new perceptions from early on, from 0 to 7. Those perceptions that maybe you had an experience in school where, maybe you were, like I know for me, I was poor and I went to school with kids who had a lot of resources. And so I perceived lack and scarcity based upon where I came from. And so now I'm looking at that again and recognizing that I'm not poor, that I'm not impoverished, and creating a new idea around that early perceived experience so that I can now have a new perceived experience from within me. It's an internal thing that we then impose upon the electromagnetic field that then brings us a new reality. The moon today is in Leo. It's in the final degrees of Leo. It's like at 25 degrees, so it'll be going into Virgo very soon. And Leo is the energy of our heart. It's the energy governed by the sun. So if you think about the sun is always shining no matter what. It could be raining, storming, hurricanes. The sun is doing its thing. And that's how your heart is. You could have all sorts of stuff going on in your life and your heart is still beating. It is consistent. It does not stop. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to ask it to do anything. You don't have to charge it. That motherfucker is going. It's like, yes, it's committed, it's dedicated. And so you want to create a relationship with your heart that is like a beacon, that's like a signal, that's like that helps you read environments and helps you actually create what it is you desire from opening your heart. And one of the things I'll do is I'll just sit and feel the energy of my heart, breathe into it, and then I send that energy out into the environment. I send that energy to people that I love. I send that energy into future dimensions that I am creating right now in my life, of knowing that, my clients are held and safe and loved, and just really allowing myself to perceive not only with my brain and my thoughts and my thinking, but with my heart. And because it's Leo and heart, it's also an opportunity for you to begin to look at your romantic connections, how you connect with people romantically, what's driving it. Are you moving into romantic connections out of scarcity and need, of like, I need somebody because I don't want to be alone. I need someone because I need to feel good about myself? Or are you moving into romantic connections based upon love and a desire to share yourself and a desire to grow and expand and evolve? Like, be very mindful of how you use your heart. One of the things that's really significant, I don't believe a lot of statistics in this country because they're ridiculous, but I do believe that, people have a lot of heart attacks here. And the reason is because our hearts are very closed. Our hearts are, connected in this idea that people are here to make us feel safe and make us feel better about ourselves. And that's not what people are for. We are here to have experiences. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she was talking about how threatened she feels if her partner has emotional connections with other people. And I was telling her, I get that. I get how we can believe that if someone, I have that, like if I'm in love with someone or I'm experiencing love with someone, I can feel threatened if they are also having an emotional connection with another person. But that's a heart problem, because we are here to have emotional connections with more than one person. We begin to die and atrophy when we lock ourselves into these experiences where it's like, I'm the only person you should see or hear or be with. And some people have those connections quite naturally and organically. And if it's natural and organic, absolutely. But if it's something that's forced, if it's like, if it's like a way we control one another, then that is problematic. And that is why Americans have so many heart problems, because we aren't open to love in its true form. And love in its true form is profoundly unconditional. One of the things that I know for me is that I don't want to have a partner and make them, be what I need them to be in order for me to be happy. I want them to be able to be themselves. I want to grow. I want to be pushed. I want to bump up against the edges of jealousy and envy so that I can see where my limitations are, so that I can see where I'm holding into smallness and not allowing myself to be fully who I am. So, in relationship for me, I want a partner who is a free, powerful being. And I'm curious of like, okay, what is this person going to bring into my reality that's going to force me out of my comfort zone and give me the permission or the experience? I'm going to give myself the permission, give me the experience to be more, to be greater. It just reminds me very much more of this conversation we've been having about Will and Jada Pinkett. Just seeing how her desire for freedom and being self-possessed, what it has done inside of him. And you can look at him and see that he's challenged, he's been stretching, he's been coming out of his comfort zone because he's married to someone who is not conforming and who is not buying into the notion of monogamy in the way that our culture sort of subscribes to it. So keep your heart open, keep your heart fresh, keep your heart willing so that you can evolve and grow. So for those of you who are signing up for readings and all that sort of stuff, thank you so much. I'm just in awe of the work that I'm doing with many of you. And I'm going to be working on a Mars retrograde course now. The link will be ready for that probably early next week so that you guys can join that. And we're going to be getting ready for Mars in retrograde. But if you want to sign up for anything, you can go on my profile link here and you can go to my website, MoniqueRuffin.com, and you can see what services I offer, and you can register there for new moon readings, full moon readings, Mercury retrograde readings, Venus in retrograde readings, natal chart readings, transit readings, and then private coaching. I love to do private coaching because it allows me to work with someone and with their chart to help them move into the places that they are here to be in more organically. And I want you to know that your natal chart is God's gift to you. Your natal chart is God's map to say, hey, here's what you're here to do. That's what your natal chart is. So the more you understand your natal chart and understand how you relate to this reality and how you relate to yourself and others, the more you align with your divine program is what I would say. Okay, peace and blessings, everyone. I love y'all. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.